everyone's been waiting for my opinions on Horizon Zero Dawn. I got to play the game at E3 2016. I got to play about 7 or 8 minutes with it, so not a lot, alright? But I can tell you what it was like playing this game, what was impressive, and some of the cool stuff that I saw during my gameplay demo, alright? So, let me explain to you guys what just happened, you know, regarding this game and how they kind of set it up, alright? So Sony's booth is... They set up much different than Microsoft's, alright? Microsoft's, you can just walk up to a gameplay demo and you would, you know, sit there and play it, or you'd stand in a line and wait for your turn to play it, alright? Sony's was much different. Sony, you had to download an app on your phone and you had to set appointment times specifically for each game. So, Horizon Zero Dawn, I was able to get on the last day. I was like scurrying to try and get it on the last day, and I did get it. And I was able to go in there. We basically walked into this small little room, this closed room. They had the big theater set up, and the developers would sit here and say, all right, so here's basically a walkthrough of what we're going to be doing in this demo. It was pretty much the E3 demo, and they talk about, oh, we have dialogue choices, it's a vast open RPG, you can explore anywhere, there's different abilities and powers and things that you can use in weapons, and it's going to be about this grand story. And they said, all right, now you can go play the game. And they gave us about 8 minutes. The whole experience was 20 minutes total, and they gave us about 8 minutes to play this game. So less than half the time in order to play the game, which is kind of unfortunate. All right, but they gave us a small section of this demo, and I immediately got to pick up the controller and just explore and go play. This game was very easy to get into, which is good. I really felt at home with the controls. This being Guerrilla Games' first third-person game, because remember, they made the Killzone series, and that was always a first-person shooter. So this is their first third-person open-world RPG, and it really handled well. I was really surprised. The game ran at a very smooth 30 frames per second. There was, you know, just a few dips here and there, but for a game that's coming out next year, this game was already very, very well optimized. Not only that, but the game looked amazing in motion. This is obviously one of the best looking games like I've ever seen, definitely running on a console. It reminded me of quality levels similar to like Uncharted in that instance, where especially on a scale and a world as big as this game, it's really impressive what they were pulling off. I mean, remember how you were very impressed with The Witcher 3's visuals? Well, you're going to be very impressed with, you know, Horizon Zero Dawn's visuals. I mean, just the videos don't really do it justice, but to see it in motion is just really, really impressive. The game looks fantastic. The world is very vibrant. It's very colorful. There's a lot of it's not as dark and dystopian or anything like that as you may see. It's a lot of sort of that very bright light, rural, you know, sort of experience. It's kind of hard to explain. You guys remember, like, it's sort of like designed like Far Cry Primal's world, right? So a lot of wilderness, but it's much more beautiful and it's a lot more varied. And there's also villages and stuff that you can go and explore to, and just people that you can go and talk to, and they give you missions. All right. Now, fighting the robots was actually pretty awesome and very intense. And I just got into a regular encounter here. And you can switch to your weapons very easily. There's a great weapon wheel that you hold down. I think the L1 button, you can, you know, use your analog stick to switch between your different weapons. And they gave us a lot of weapons. And so I was able to capture a mount. It looked like a robot that was sort of almost at the design of like a bull, for instance. And I was able to trap it with my launch rope. And just my rope launcher is what I should have said. But I was able to trap it, get onto it, and then ride it around and use my bow and arrow to then attack the other enemies surrounding me. And that was a really cool experience, and it works very, very well. And it's easy to control. The mount actually allows you to travel to places much more faster, and so it's a lot better than you just sprinting to different places. You can still sprint if you want to, but you know, just get it mounted. It's really easy, and it's pretty cool because you trap the mount, and then you have to hack the mount. You have like this weird spear stick. She sticks it into it, and then you have to, you know, hack them I think you have to keep twisting your left and right thumbsticks in order to like match the sequence, and then basically you turn the robot into a friendly robot, and you're able to get onto him, and he kind of controls where you're going. And it's interesting because you know that they're not alive, right? It's just an AI controlling it. But there's this sense of that you're causing harm to like some real being with this. And I always found that fascinating about, you know, games and films that sort of went with this AI atmosphere. It's about you caring about this fake life, right? And you feeling this emotional attachment to this fake life. And Horizon Zero Dawn did this through just this standard, you know, wild animal that doesn't really attack you. Like the mount doesn't attack you in the game, they just run away. And it was interesting because I hacked the thing and I kind of felt bad about hacking it because it's almost like I took away its life. I changed its perspective, right? But I was able to get onto it and use it for my greater good. And there was this sense there was a sense that I caused it danger. And I just found that interesting and fascinating about, hey, it's an AI, right? It's not living, right? It doesn't have a life attached to it, but you still feel this emotional attachment yourself to what you're doing in the game. And I was sort of, I took my bow and arrow and I found these other, you know, enemies around, and I was able to really actually very, very quickly take most of the smaller enemy grunts down. I didn't say smaller because they're all pretty big in scale, but sort of the lower tier enemies that aren't as strong, I was able to take them down relatively quickly, and my bow and arrow shots were accurate, the controls were very solid, and so it allowed me to really pull off great moves like that, and it was fantastic. And then we had like this short little boss fight. It was basically the E3 demo is what we played, so we had this short little boss fight at the very end, and we were fighting this guy, and he's destroying things around you, and he's knocking down trees. It was just a really great game of playing it, and the world felt dynamic, like it reacted very realistically to everything that was going on, and that fight could have ended up in different ways. It didn't have to just wind up how it ended up. It could have ended up in a variety of different ways, and I didn't have to, like, you know, use the trees to my advantage to stay away, or use the mount to my advantage to be able to attack it from, you know, very fast from different angles and things like that. It just really felt like a dynamic experience, and I think that's what they were going for. So Horizon Zero Dawn really impressed me. I really loved what I played, and I'm hoping that this game has that interesting story. At least from what I've seen, like, the story looks really interesting. You're going to be playing as this girl who's trying to find out what happened to not only her but the world before, and what's going on with her tribe, and there's some alien thing to it, and it's going to be a really fascinating story about this young woman just basically trying to find out what happened to the world before, and what happened to, I'm guessing, her family and her tribe, and just how things came to be. And it's going to be really interesting. You're also going to have that great emotional journey with a character that's really going to be well developed, hopefully. So we'll see how it ends up, but from what I played, like, man, that was a really great experience. 8 minutes with it, and it kind of went by like that. Like, it felt really great to play the game, and I loved playing. The world felt really interesting to explore, and I overall just really enjoyed the experience. Alright, so Horizon Zero Dawn is definitely a thumbs up in my book. It plays well, it looks amazing, and the story seems really fascinating and very interesting. And I love that the art style, of, they sort of did this with Enslaved Odyssey to the West, if you guys remember that game. Where it's like the modern world, but it's destroyed, and people are living, like, you know, in these, you know, kind of harsh conditions. Everything's kind of gone back to the whole caveman route. But the jungle and the environment has taken over the world before, and it just seems really interesting. So I really like that direction with the art style. And I think that's what's really going to make this game a really great experience, and a really unique experience, is that art direction that so few games have actually tackled. So it's going to be pretty cool. The game comes out in February. It was supposed to be coming out in like November, then it got delayed. So all's well. You know, the game's going to be better when it's delayed. So we'll play it when it comes out in February, and I personally cannot wait. Alright, guys, so if you have any questions regarding Horizon Zero Dawn, leave them down in the comments, and I will do my best to answer them, and I will see you all later. Have a good one.